Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition Shadows of Am on Nintendo Switch. Alright, we're still stuck in the first area.
If you wish.
Ooh, we got books to read. Books to read, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of books. History of Shadowdale. Doused Sulwood becomes Lord of Shadowdale. 3 winters following his defeat of the evil Lord Jordan, Kelburn Blackstaff found a suitable candidate to assume leadership of the Dales, or rather a group of candidates. They were the Knights of Myth, Draenor, so named to show their interest in the Elven territories and their connection with the Elven peoples, and Kelburn gave them the pendant of Ashaba, the symbol of the lordship, in return for services rendered to himself and to Shadowdale. Their leader, the Ranger Florin Falconhand, refused the honor of the lordship. It was therefore passed to Doused Sulwood, who was made the new lord with the support of Florin and Silun, the wife of the murdered Lord Omri, and apparently also the secret support of Kelburn as well. Doused reoccupied the Twisted Tower, driving out the last agents of the Black Network. He also reinstituted many of Ashba's democratic ideas, including the Lord's Court, where all citizens may speak freely and air their grievances without threat of reprisal. Doused ruled for 5 years and proved to be a capable ruler, beloved by the people. The regular presence of the Knights of Myth Draenor did much to ensure the protection of the area, particularly against incursions by Lyrian Nanther and the Pretender. Lyrian was to have been Jordhan's named replacement, but with the Zentarum routed, there was little validity to the claim. Are these in order? Is there a 1? I mean, I should start with 1.
Yes. What?
No, don't. Ah, damn it. We're trying to read here. This is the library. Why don't you guys quiet down?
For the fallen!
Swords, not words!
What you want?
Mince and ready. Yes.
Ooh, I can identify this. Wait, why can't I? Did you identify the item with an identity spell or identity scroll? Well, yeah. Why can't I pick it? What? I have a bunch of them.
Nature could find a home here if it were properly cleansed and
It
balanced.
is done.
Okay, so what's this? History of Sambia. History of Shadowdale 1. Well, we start over here. Why does it start from right to left? Oh, whatever. History of Lurien. The history of Lurien, the land of halflings. The halflings of Lurien claim that this is the original homeland of halflings in the realms. Although other halflings may disagree with this, it is true that Lurien was settled hundreds, perhaps thousands of years ago. Lurien's history is one of conquerors and subjugation. Throughout the centuries, the halflings have been conquered by barbarians who used to inhabit Dambreth, by the kingdom of Estegund, and even once by the monsters of Baldur. In every case, the invaders were eventually defeated because they made the mistake of underestimating the halflings due to their small stature. A good bit of mischief, mayhem, and general troublemaking by the halflings also helped end the occupations. Currently, Lurien is enjoying an unprecedented prosperity. The halflings are currently taking advantage of the relationship with the nation of Drupar, their biggest customer and greatest competitor. Also, through these close ties with Drupar, Lurien has protected itself against another Dambrii invasion. The rulers of Dambreth must know that if they begin to expand to the east, they will arouse the ire of Drupar, as well as Var and Estegund. The threat of a trade embargo and or military consequences have kept this aggressive nation away from the Lurianers. Actually, Sambia, the land of Sambia, was settled by humans coming to the Sea of Fallen Stars from the south, and was originally chosen for its stands of huge, high-quality Illyr wood timber prized in shipbuilding. However, as the forests were cleared over the years, the tree cutters came into increasing conflict with elves that feared the loss of their entire wood. This would undoubtedly have occurred had not the hastily gathered mercenary troops of the fledgling land been defeated by the elves of Singing Arrows, 884 DR. This battle convinced distant Chondath to abandon its holdings in the region and allow the immigrant Sembians to establish their independence, though as little more than a collection of rival city-states, much like the Moonsea or Vasts of today. It also set the stage for the appearance of the Raven. The young country grew strong as farms prospered in the newly cleared lands. Craftsmen arrived from the south to take advantage of this chance to acquire land and wealth, bringing their trades with them. Rothavir, the Raven, unified the city-states and towns in the face of the continuing elven menace and insisted on maintaining a standing army, which he kept in practice by policing Sembia's borders and improving its roads. At this time, 913 DR, Sembia became a true nation. The Moonsea's Dragon Sea's mineral wealth was discovered by humankind at about this time, and pressure began to grow for a trade road through the Elven Woods to make Sembia the world's gateway to all these riches. The Raven alone was an envoy to the Elven court. There, he asked the elders of the council to approve a road open to humans, linking Sembia to the shores of the Dragon Sea. An earlier road had been destroyed during the conflict and was now overgrown. Raven proposed that the elves choose the route to retain control of it and the woods around it, so that no woodcutting or human settlement would occur. The elves had earlier made similar arrangements with the Dalesmen and had no difficulty with the concept of such an agreement. However, the inhabitants of Velersdale, now Harrowdale, refused the proposal, not wanting or needing such a road at that time. Curious, since later a ruler of Harrowdale commissioned the disastrous Half-Axe Trail. The elves, not wishing to offend longtime allies, refused Raven's request. Rebuffed, the Raven then threatened to exterminate the isolated elves in Amothoi, the last embattled remnant of the elves in Sembia. If the elven court did not cooperate, if the roads were built, however, they would be free to trade, or not trade, as they wish. The elves agreed under this pressure, and Sembia's financial future was secured. Hillsfar, on the shores of the Dragon Sea, became a commercial meeting ground between humankind and elves, as did Elventree. The route he chose ran past the base of the Standing Stone as a reminder of earlier, less hostile dealings between humans and elves. Over the years, elves and the Amothoi came north to join their brethren or slipped away to seek Evermeet, meaning their wood to gradually disappear. Sembia grew rich under merchant leaders to increase wisdom, such as Sayer, from whom Seberb was named, and Selgar, from whom Chancelgaunt and was renamed as Selgaunt. Before his death, Ruthavir, the Raven, saw that these merchants had a strong standing council of merchant elders to advise them and to ensure that no ruler could hold on to power by force of arms. Then this far-sighted man, the creator of a nation, now half-blind and infirm from old war wounds, rode north into the Elven Woods and disappeared. None know what happened to him or where his bones lie, save perhaps some few elder elves. Alright, History of Shadowdale. History of Shadowdale, the fall of Asmir, the last drow marshal of the Twisted Tower. The drow rule of Shadowdale lasted until the early 900s, Dale Reckoning, when the increased human population in the area brought the Dark Elves into conflict with their now more numerous neighbors. The humans were the Dalesmen who were a millennium earlier had crossed the Dragon Reach and made peace with the elves of Myth Draenor, settling at the borders of the Great Woods that was the elven home. The drow found themselves under continual attack, and most of those who held overground settlements retreated back below. The last powerful drow leader was Asmir, the marshal of the Twisted Tower in its last drow-held days. Asmir oversaw the last retreat of the drow holding in the face of a human uprising and held the citadel against a year-long siege. With supplies and slaves brought up from the Underdark directly into the tower, the drow could have conceivably held out forever. However, a human slave, family histories in the Vales indicate a number of possible individuals, poisoned the well in the tower, and the citadel was easily overrun. Asmir's body was not found among the dead, leading some to believe that he escaped into the depths to rejoin his people. Noting the fact that he would have had to explain to his matriarch how he lost Shadowdale, it is much more likely, should Asmir have survived, he went into voluntary exile, hiding from both human and drow. Given that this occurred only 400 years ago, it is certainly possible that Asmir still lives. History Shadow. Asaba becomes first lord of Shadowdale. Upon taking of the Twisted Tower and removing the Drow yoke from the people, the Dalesmen had fully established the Dale of Shadowdale, with its seat of power in the tower itself. Its first lord was a water wizard who had aided in the final attack, Ashaba, who was great in age, and when he ascended and ruled peacefully for 40 years thereafter. It is said that Ashaba realized he was dying and turned himself into water merging with the river. Since that time, the river, the ford, and the Twisted Tower all bear his name. Before passing on, Ashaba chose one of his trusted lieutenants as the new lord of Shadowdale. Presented to the people of Dale, he was made the new lord by acclamation. In an additional honor, the pendant worn by Ashaba was thereafter recognized as a symbol of the lordship of the Dale lands and was possessed by each of the successive lords following. I know, do we really need to know all this? I guess it's world building. History of Shadowdale, Jodath and the Tyrst Massacre. The past 100 years have been an example of the best and worst of the lords of Shadowdale. All have been non-native to the Dale lands, though all made the land their home. A century ago, the lord of the Dales was once Jodath, a stiff-necked agnostic who denied the power of any god, good or evil, and used the force to back up his beliefs. During the time, there was a great deal of religious persecution, including a massacre of the Tyrsts on Watcher's Knoll. Jodath was eventually killed by a beast of the Nether Plains, summoned by parties unknown, which then proceeded to rampage through the Dale. The beast was killed and Shadowdale rescued by the spellcasters Omri and Silun. Omri was proclaimed lord by acclamation. History of Shadowdale. Omri rules in peace. The longest period of peaceful rule was by Lord Omri and his wife Silun, better known as the Witch of Shadowdale. They ruled over the community for 40 years, a period of extended peace with their neighboring Dales, nations, and the Elven peoples. It was this very peace and power which made the Dales the target for attacks and sabotage by the Black Network, Zentarum. They sought, and still seek, to control the trade from the Moonsea to the Sword Coast and desire to make Shadowdale a vassal state of Zentil Keep. Lord Omri's rule ended tragically when he was assassinated by the Zentis agents. History of Shadowdale. Yordhun, the False Lord. Lord Omri was assassinated by Zentarum agents, who in turn were captured and killed by the warrior Yordham. Yordham, with the pendant of Ashaba in hand, the symbol of the lordship of the Dales, proceeded to present himself as the new lord, and was so acclaimed by the people. It was unknown to the people that Yordham was also an agent of the Zentarum, and that the entire proceeding had actually been a ruse. Yordham abandoned the Twisted Tower, instead establishing himself in Castle Crag, east of Shadowdale. His court was soon overrun with agents of the Black Network. When the people eventually revolted, Zentil Keep sent peacekeeping forces to maintain Yordham's rule. Silun, Lord Omri's widow, now aware of the deception but a firm pacifist, did her best to keep the Dale healthy and intact during the Yordham's evil rule. History of Shadowdale. Kelburn kills Yordam. Lord Yordam's rule of Shadowdale ended when he encountered Kelburn Arwenson, also called the Black Staff. The story at the time was that Yordam accepted an invitation from Kelburn to visit Waterdeep, and there he took ill and died. In reality, Yordam ambushed Kelburn as the mage and was leaving Shadowdale, and the Black Staff killed him. In either case, Kelburn took hold of the pendant of Ashba, the symbol of the lordship of Dales, and returned to Waterdeep with it, promising to send a suitable candidate for lordship to the Dales. Yordam had ruled for 5 years, and without his advocacy, Castle Crag was abandoned and the Zentil Keep troops routed. Yordam's previous chosen successor was a Malvontan named Liren, but without the pendant, this individual was considered a pretender to the throne. History of Shadowdale. Lords accepted by acclamation. This acclamation of the people has formed the basis for choosing the Lord of Shadowdale since the routing of the evil Lord Yordam by Kelburn Blackstaff. Usually a predecessor will step down as opposed to dying in office, and his chosen successor will be approved by the populace at large. This system has its drawbacks, as will be shown below, but in general it has served the independent self-will people of the Dale very well. They have avoided the generic lottery of which good bureaucracies and bad kingships are made. I'll quote from the venerable Elamister. The symbol of the lordship is the pendant of Ashba, a device owned by the original wizard and used to determine the rightful lord of the Dale. History of Shadowdale, Time in Our Lords. During the period when Kelburn Blackstaff held the pendant of Ashba, the symbol of the lordship of the Dales. Wow, how often they gotta mention that. Silun, widow of the murdered Lord Omri, was the de facto ruler of Shadowdale, though these years were known as the time of no lords. Silun and an adventuring company known as Main's Band were responsible for driving out the Zentoki forces and keeping at bay the monsters in the area. The Twisted Tower, the traditional seat of the leadership, remained uninhabited following its abandonment by the evil Lord Jordam, and neither Silun nor the companions of Main's Band wished to assume the mantle of leader. With time, Main's Band passed on to other lords, or other lands and adventurers. What are we on? So what are we on? 8? We're on 9? Wait, this is 6? Wait, were they out of order? What? 5? 6? 7? 8? Is 8 the last one? Oh, it is the last one. Oh, okay. History of Shadowdale. Douse Sulwood becomes Lord of Shadowdale. 3 winters following his defeat by the evil Lord Jordam, Kelber Blackstaff found a suitable candidate to assume leadership of the Dales, or rather a group of candidates. They were the Knights of Myth, Draenor, so named to show their interest in the Elven territories and their connection with the Elven peoples, and Kelburn gave them the pendant of Ashba, the symbol of the lordship, in return for services rendered to himself and to Shadowdale. Their leader, the Ranger Florin Falconhand, refused the honor of the lordship. It was therefore passed to Doust Solwood, who was made the new lord with the support of Florin and Silun, wife of the murdered Lord Armory, and apparently also the secret support of Kelburn as well. Doust reoccupied the Twisted Tower, driving out the last agents of the Black Network. He also reinstituted many of Ashaba's democratic ideals, including the Lord's Court, where all citizens may speak freely, and the Heir of the Grievances without threat of reprisal. Doust ruled for 5 years and proved to be a capable ruler, beloved by the people. The regular presence of the Knights of Myth Draenor did much to ensure the protection of the area, particularly against the incursions by Lyran Nanther, the Pretender. Lyran was to have been Jordam's replacement, but with the Zentrum routed, there was little validity to the claim. History of Shadowdale. Elminster moves to Shadowdale. It is of note that during the time that Douse Selwood of the Knights of Myth Draenor assumed the role of Lord Shadowdale, Elminster took up residence in the area. A semi-regular visitor up to that time, he took possession of a low abandoned tower at the foot of the Old Skull and declared himself to be officially in retirement. The nature of that retirement varies from active involvement in local affairs to long-term vacations on other planes. The natives of the Dale have come to the understanding that they cannot always count on the powerful mage being in residence in times of need or danger, but when he is present in these circumstances, his aid is usually given. Let's see. History of Shadowdale. Douse chooses Mordrim Amkthra to succeed him. What is up with all these fucking D&D names? Why are they always fucking so hard to pronounce and spell? Douse Selwood, recommended to the position by Kelburn Blackstaff, ruled Shadowgate as Lord for 5 years. Seems like a millennium. He was oft known to have reported, and the tedium of court life and the lure of adventure eventually caused him to retire to his position and rejoin the Knights of Myth Draenor in regular adventuring. He handed the pendant of Ashaba, a symbol of the lordship, on to one of the younger knights, a Waterhavian noble named Mordrim Amkathra. Mordrim had been dispatched by Kelburn from Waterdeep for other purposes, but Douse liked both the young man's straightforward honesty and his willingness to shoulder the burden of protecting the small community from myriad dangers. Time has proven this choice to be a wise one. History of Shadowdale 12. Cheryl and Morgrim meet and marry. The implication of Kelburn Blackstaff Urison choosing the last 2 lords of Shadowdale, Douse Solwood and Morgrim Amkthar, were not lost on the Dale's powerful neighbor to the south, Cormyr. An agent was sent northward to divine Morgrim's true intentions and to guarantee Dale's continued good relationship with the throne of the Purple Dragon. The agent was a rogue named Cheryl Raumantel, sent by Vanjadahast. Pickle Peter. Though all paperwork on this matter has been curiously incinerated in the Suzale, so all is hearsay and tale. Cheryl discovered more than she intended and fell in love with young Morgrim. The two married and became the Lord and Lady of the Shadowdale. Cheryl's loyalty is now to her husband and to the land they co-rule. This probably was not the intention of the Cormenians. Probably. History of Shadowdale, Morgrim's rule. Since being recommended to the position by the outgoing Lord Dal Solwood, Lord Morgrim Alcathar's rule of Shadowdale had been less peaceful than he had hoped. The first Battle of Shadowdale occurred in the year of the Prince, 1357 DR, and involved Daleland forces routing those of Lirin the Pretender. Lirin has made repeated attempts to gain the lordship, as was intended by former Zentish puppet Lord Yordam. While significant, this battle pales when comparison to the larger battle fought on the same site between Bane-led Zentil Keep forces and the Dales during the Times of Troubles, 1358 DR 0 PR. When the Battle of Shadowdale is referred to without a number, it usually means the second battle. In addition, Morgrim has had to deal with a large number of skirmishes, incursions, and a possible invasion from below, explosions, and other sundry disasters. Morgrim and Cheryl have one child, Scotty, who is now 9 winters old. By the customs of the area, he is not considered the heir apparent, and another suitable warrior or mage may take the reins power of the small community. Most feel that Morgrim will hold the pennant until his son has reached his maturity, then abdicate in young Scotty's favor once he has taken his grown name. If this happens, it will be the first occasion of the lordship of Shadowdale passing down through a family. Why, yeah, did we need to know all that? I don't know if we did. Is there more history? Oh my god. I think all these are the same books that were in original Baldur's Gate, too. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want me to read this entire library. There's a lot, obviously.
Oh, this reminds me so much of Candlekeep. Dusty old tomes all over, bookcases nearly spilling. It's like we never left.
But we did, didn't we? Big Deke, I just want to go home again. It doesn't matter where it is, just as long as I can call it home. I know, Imoen's so moody in this game. She was so preppy and sprightly in the originals.
Me timber's bad enough without ye bothering me.
Be alert, laddies, we've got company. Ho, prisoners, you've come to the wrong place, I tell ye true. Illich and his boys will stop you. Would that I knew where this place was, I have no quarrel with you, Dugor. Suffice to say, this place is your doom. By the time the master returns, you shall be dead and we shall be rewarded. Adam, lads, no mercy.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Fall, creature, and feed the earth!
Mine's hammer.
Shields and bullets and acorns. I don't know how long I do with the acorns. If there's a conceit which I don't like about D&D games, it's the limited pocket space you have. I mean, I understand trying to be realistic and you're trying to roll for things and take value over one thing or another, but at this point in time, it's a computer video game. I mean, I don't have to worry about a sheet of paper with boxes that I need to fill up. You know, they can be infinite.
Those dwarves that attacked us. I read about them when you were skipping out of lessons back in Candlekeep.
Dugor, I think. Kind of evil, I guess, so I'm not surprised that they would be working for our captor. Quite the little setup down here. Got everything he needs, including smiths. For the knives, probably. The knives. He has a lot of them. I'm going to have a couple scars from this. Looks like you will too. As if I need another reminder. Big Deke, I don't care what power this guy thinks he can tap into you. He's just sick to the core. We can't ever look back. Yes, everyone, man. I didn't understand the M1 hate him until now. I mean, well, she just whines constantly. those.
What?
Name it. All right, all right.
The store has no visible lock or handle, and you can't seem to budget.
Huh?
Well, fine. Be that way. Just walk around killing everything that I see.
What do you want?
With vengeance!
You did any damage? I don't want to do. Oop. Don't do that.
Fight well, for now you will die.
Bastard sword! You bastard sword! Nothing to describe this thing. Okay, fine. We'll just leave it as it is. Door or anything? Get this thing again? The lever will move no further. I know, the game actually looks the best when it's this far away, but then God, then it's just like it's just a bit unplayable at that distance. I do like to see what I'm doing.
Nature,
Feel the
take the
backhand
life she
of
gave!
justice! Ah!
How's Zimwen doing on her? She's got plenty of arrows for now.
Yes,
Ready and
every
willing, yep.
hamster has his day.
You can count on me.
What?
Isn't this where I started? Prison cells? Yeah. Locked portal. Oh. Do I go back to the teleport portal? Is that what I'm supposed to do? I thought I needed a key. I don't have one of those. Missing a key then? Where the hell's the key? I need the key! Anything in there?
blade
well,
will cut you
for
down
now
to size.
you will die.
For the fallen!
Next time.
Yes.
You suddenly have a sense of imminent danger. Something here is not what it seems. Yeah, likely everything, huh? Trap found.
What?
Does anybody have? He's out here.
It is done.
What do you want? This way, then?
Helm of Baldur. Fabled Helm of Baldur, legendary founder of Baldur's Gate, is long rumored to wield powerful protective magic. The exact nature of this magic, however, has not yet been determined.
Huh?
I guess I might as well take it. Alright, who can wear the Helm of Baldurin? Can anyone? Vince can. Chihira can. Yeah, why not?
Out with it.
Amulet. Generic amulet text.
Yes.
I am ready.
I didn't even try to explain that one. It is an amulet. Yes, of course it is. Elemental statue. Yeah, why not? I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
Name it. Just like old times. Well, except for the torture and all.
Wand of Lightning Key.
Servant awaits.
Huh?
My blade will cut you down to size.
Miss. It is done.
At least what I miss from Siege of Dragon Spear is that there's really no money in that game.
Yes.
I await your move.
What? Out with it.
This portal requires a key of some sort. You cannot step through it without that item. Oh, of course I can't. These are like a common theme.
Protect me.
Yes, help us. Free us. Slow down. Who are you and what's going on here? We are his possessions, his servants, his concubines. Please help us to escape. Yeah, I don't like this at all. How can I help you? If you can escape, you must take our acorns to the queen. Tell her of our plight in this creature's lair. Take them to the Fairy Queen who lives in the south end of the Windspar Hills. This will be our deliverance from this Irenicus and his dungeon. So, I see we have a name for our captor at last. Irenicus, is it? Tell me, Dryads, why this Irenicus would go to such lengths to keep you three here. We are supposed to instill emotion, but he is barren inside. I am not sure what he expects. You can foil his plans for us at least. If you take the acorns to the Fairy Queen, then she can regrow our trees and free us. Yeah, sure. Thank you. You must take the acorns and deliver them to the Fairy Queen in the south end of the Windspear Hills. But he has taken the acorns. He knows of our plans. It amuses him. He has left our acorns with Illich. Illich is mean. I suppose I'll have to obtain your acorns from this Illich fellow. Who is he and where can he be found? Illich is the clan chief of the Master's Duger slaves. He is somewhere within the dungeon. Return to us when you have the acorns, and we shall tell you how to escape.
So beautiful. I used to dream of dryads and their beautiful trees.
You are welcome among us, girl. Youthful exuberance is music that we have not heard in such a long time. I used to dream, but he doesn't. Charms don't work on him anymore, do they? How do you know of this? He has touched you as us, hasn't he? Irenicus searches for something he cannot find, and he looks within those that have no more idea than he. Irenicus. A name that is synonymous with death and ugliness. No, death sounds different. He showed me. I spit on his name. I spit on this place. Live as you can where you must, young woman. You will not survive if you give in. We have learned this. I have learned something different. So beautiful you are. I almost can't see you. I just want to go home. Oh, Big Deke, when can we go to home? You know, I'm working on it, girlfriend. You know, this is not easy. Did we already run into that guy? Did he have some acorns that I just wasn't aware of?
What is this place? It's beautiful. Oh, there is simply no way that this space belongs to the same person that owns those horrible glass containers.
It is unlikely that our captor would rent out space. It must be his. No, it can't be. Not the person I know. This bed, that table, I know of them. He would speak of them while he... It's for a lost love, kept in perfect condition. She despises him. This is his monument to her. He spoke of all this, but his voice was cold. No emotion at all, not even remembered. He spoke of these things, even while he cut, and the spells that wove through my brain, cold, ugly things. He cannot harm you now, you are among friends. It still hurts. His sick fingers are still in my head, doing whatever it was he started. I see blood and death behind my eyes. Irenicus. This room. If he could care for anything, he would care for this room. Above the lives of all of us, it makes me sick. I feel so much hate. I would burn this place, but it is nothing. Even as it means so much, it is nothing. Let's do what we must and get out of this place. It is making me sick. Found a trap. Bracers, pommel tool. Portal key. Oh, yeah, let's take that.
You could find a home here if it were properly cleansed and balanced.
What?
I am ready.
Huh?
Was there anything else? I think that was it. What? Now there's something here? The chambers of the Master's wife have been entered. All must be destroyed.
fight
Feel
well,
the
for now
backhand
you
of
will
justice!
Hmm. Okay, where did we run into that guy? I think I killed him quite a while ago.
I can carry no more. Your item is on the ground.
What do we got here? Energy cells. Elemental statue. I have no idea what that's gonna do for me. Ah, damn it. Okay. Was he over here? Was he that guy? I don't really... I don't remember. These it? Acorns? I mean, are there multiple acorns I have to worry about?
What? As I thought. What do you want?
That's some more acorns, possibly.
As I thought.
It is nice that they made this game run smoother. I mean, I was getting tired of the performance of the Baldur's Gate 1 and its expansions. Although they spent the most time on Planescape Torment. I mean, that game runs pretty well. You have done a noble thing for us. Please take these acorns to the Fairy Queen who lives in the south end of the Windspear Hills. We will help you escape. You must use the portals to travel up to the next level of the complex. This is how Irenicus travels. The portals are triggered by a certain key. He uses her key. He still loves her, you see. He keeps her room just as it was, though well protected. We go there sometimes and look at her things. May the forest open a path for you.
So there is sanity in all this madness. If you are not in league with the evil that dwells in this unholy place, Yoshimo begs your assistance.
A fair line easily used by servants of the wizard themselves. We have been imprisoned and worse, and given many reasons to distrust strangers we encounter. I share your sentiments. I have seen much here that has disturbed me. I myself am a warrior with no evil intentions. Please, I will welcome any assistance you might offer. Then assistance you shall get, Yoshimo. What ails you, friend? I'm not sure how I came to be here. Like you, I suspect. I have been trying to find my way out, but I was wounded in my attempt to do so. Tell me, how did you come to be trapped here? It is actually quite, embarrassing. My profession does not leave itself open to those who are not wary, yet somehow I was caught unaware. I came to, Athkatha years ago from Karatur to seek my fortune. At some point I went to bed in my room and the copper cornet, and I awoke in a strange room with a very sore head. I do not know how long I was there before awakening. Do you think that we are in Athkatha? I am unsure. I may have been drugged when I was brought here. I may have been unconscious. Either way, I do not know how long. If it was the former, this place could be anywhere. If it was the latter, then I don't imagine that I could have traveled very far without noticing. Then you too know the hardship of being set in a maze like a helpless hamster. We are comrades in peril. Boo asks what you propose we do next, little man. I do not know a way to escape this place. Perhaps we could search for its exit together. I'd welcome another companion, but I have some questions first. What do you need to know? How'd you get here? Yeah, we got that part. How do I know that you're not some sort of fiend here to lure me into a trap? I'm no fiend. I'm Yoshimo. You know Yoshimo? In that case, at last an admirer. I do not know a way to escape this place. Perhaps we can search for the exit together. I'd be pleased to have you join me. Yeah, sure. I shall be happy to lend my blade to your cause. There are two things that I have discovered about this place that may help us escape. In the next chamber, beyond, lies one in which we stand. 4 portals lie. Each of the portals releases little crackling fiends which try to kill me. These little beasties keep coming in through the portals. Perhaps if the portals are destroyed, one could defeat the beasts that have already come through. Shortly beyond that chamber, there is a hallway that contains several wands mounted in pedestals. They blast all that walk before them. I have noticed that each wand is locked into the pedestal and could be removed if one had the proper key. I know not where these keys are. Let us begin. Does nobody have level raises yet? Okay, Yoshio, what do you have? Anything? Got a katana and a bow. Well, why don't we stop it there? This is Audapostrophe. You've been watching Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition Shadows of Mom on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.